that God died, would you say that this person? What would you say about this person that says that
Again,
God died?
sorry, one more time. I didn't hear you good the first
Yeah,
time.
someone that says that God died, right? And they're a Christian and they
Right.
claim to be a Christian. What would you say about this person that says God died?
God died. That wouldn't be correct because that isn't. We have the. I don't know. Have you ever heard about the hypostatic union of the two natures of Christ?
Yes, I have. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah. So it basically would be a heresy, to say something like that.
it would be. So you think it would be a heresy in any context to say that God died?
Of course, God cannot die. God is infinite. So I mean eternal? How can God die? It's not possible.
Okay, so what if I can show you some of your own saints and church fathers saying that?
Sure. Yeah. If you have
Th-
something.
Then would you say that they're wrong, or would you change your opinion?
I don't know. It depends on what writing you want to show me. So
No, I'm saying if it's authentic, if your church considers it to be authentic.
well, I have to read it first, and after that, I have to look at the context. I don't know. So just tell me what writing you're talking about. What church father?
Yeah, I mean there are many, but you mentioned the hypostatic union. Before I start giving you references and quotes, it's
Hmm.
actually heretical to not say that God died because any based on what's called the communication of idioms or communication of attributes, whatever can be ascribed to the human nature of Christ, likewise can be referred to the divine person, which is the Son. So that's the orthodox position on the incarnation and hypostatic union. That's why there was a whole controversy about whether or not Mary is said to be the mother of God at the Council of Chalcedon in 451, and it was ruled that she is considered the mother of God. And people say, well, God doesn't have a mother. How does that make sense? Well, again, this goes back to their position that anything that can be ascribed to the human nature of Christ can be ascribed to the one divine person because they had a concern about splitting up the properties of each nature so much
Yeah,
so that it would commit to having two persons, a divine son and a human son, which is the
yeah, but what
heresy of
you what
Nestorianism.
yeah, that's what I wanted to say. That's actually Nestorianism what you're describing here, right? Because the Orthodox stance is one person who is 100% God and 100% man. What you're
Yeah,
describing here is actually Nestorianism. So
yeah.
that's what I.
I'm saying that their concern was that if you don't say that God died or that God was born of the Virgin Mary, then you would be committing yourself to Nestorianism. That's what their concern was. So
Yeah,
that's why
right.
they made statements of saying that God actually died.
Yeah, Kyrie, you have that backwards, right?
Sorry.
So, Kyrie, do
I s-
you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, I get what you're saying. Yeah.
So, do
You can say God born,
you
and you must can say God died. If you can say God born from a woman, yeah.
yeah, because you believe it's okay to say that Mary is the mother of God?
We say Mother of God, like the one who gave life to the Word. That's what it means. So it's not like literally the
and the
the
word is
the
No,
God,
but
mother.
right?
the point is you're saying that the phrase Mary is the mother of God is an appropriate statement to make, right?
Yeah, but it had more of a symbolic meaning. Like I said earlier, she's the one who gave life to the Word. That's what it means. How it's not
What in
possible
what
to
sense she
be the
gave life to the word?
Word in the Bible is referred to as Jesus, right? Jesus is the
Literally and
Word of
Yeah,
God.
but
metaphorically.
is the word God?
The Word is God, of course. Yeah,
Okay, the word is God. So Mary gave life to God.
right.
Right.
Yeah,
So
God incarnate. You ever heard of the incarnation?
yeah, I have.
So
I
God.
just explained it like a couple minutes ago.
Yeah, sorry, brother. I didn't understand that well.
Okay.
Like English is not my
Uh
first language.
let me it's fine. Don't worry about it. Let me just pull up a quote from the church fathers and read it for you. Just give me 1 second.
Okay.
I have the quote for you, Kyrie, if you want. So this is from Gregory Nazianzus in Oration number 45. He says, "We needed an incarnate God, a God put to death that we might live." And I can continue reading if you want, but it's not really that relevant. He says that we needed an incarnate God, a God put to death that we might live. So very clearly, he uses the language of God being put to death. And this is not the only time he mentions it in other texts as well.
Well, yeah, but what does it mean to die? You know, like you have to understand, as Christians, death means the separation of body and soul, right? That's what it means. So because God is eternal in his essence, he cannot die. So his human nature was died on the cross, his human body, because
Mm-hmm.
it's flesh, it died. But it doesn't mean that God stopped existing.
Yeah,
Such a thing
but
is impossible.
what I'm saying is, when I first asked you, I said, do you think that it is appropriate to say in any context that God died? And you said no, that anyone who says that is wrong. I'm
Yeah,
showing
maybe
you
I
that's
didn't
incorrect.
understand I didn't understand the way you asked the question was maybe a bit unclear for me, you know. But yeah, that's my stance on it. So God is eternal in his essence, so he can't die. So the only thing that died was actually, yeah, his human nature.
Okay, but is it appropriate to say that God died?
Um, yeah, I think so. I don't know, man. I don't want to say something. I don't know. I don't
Okay,
know if it's
was what I
I
just
hope that
read
it's
was what I just read not clear to you, or should I read it again?
okay. So if the church father said that, if that's what literally was written, then I agree with that. Yes.
Yeah, but don't you see that you're hesitating because it seems like to you it doesn't really seem appropriate?
Well, I didn't read everything, you know. So
No, I'm saying your natural inclination is sort of driving you towards thinking that it's not appropriate to say in any context that God died.
no, it's just the lack of maybe the knowledge exactly, you know. I don't. I'm not that knowledge in the Christian theology, like, especially on this matter. It's quite a complex thing, you know. So
Yeah. Okay. Well, what I'm explaining to you is the reason why Gregory said that and other church fathers said it is because, like I said, due to the hypostatic union, whatever can be ascribed to the human nature of Christ and the divine nature must both likewise be ascribed to the divine Son. Because there's only one person, he must possess all of the
no.
attributes.
What you're saying is one person. Um, you're mixing both natures together. That's what you're
No,
doing,
I'm
actually.
not. No, I'm not. I'm not mixing both natures at all. This is known as the communicatio
No,
communication
that's
of attributes or
yeah,
idioms.
but that's Nestorianism. That's not the.
No, my friend, this is not Nestorianism. You can
Can you
Google it
ask
right
him to
now.
define
You
what
can. All you need
Nestorianism
to
is?
do is Google it right now. Communication of idioms or communication of attributes. You will see it is the position that whatever is ascribed to the human nature of Christ can likewise be ascribed to the divine Son. Meaning there's
So
only one person with two natures.
so in the hypostatic union, Jesus' divine and human natures, they're united in one person without being mixed, confused, divided, or separated. Right?
Correct.
Yes. So this union is permanent and indivisible, and it does not result in a change to Jesus' divine nature or blending of his two natures into a single hybrid nature. So that's what you're
Correct.
doing.
No, I'm not. I'm not blending the natures. If you listen carefully, I'm saying that whatever is true of the human nature and whatever is true of the divine nature is true of the one person.
Okay,
Because
brother.
there's
I'm
only one person. There's one person with two natures. So if Christ's as the divine Son, he's the second person of the Trinity. He's a divine person. He's not a human person. Do you understand that?
Yeah.
Christians don't believe he's a human person. He's a divine person with two natures, a divine nature and a human nature. The divine person, because he has both natures, whatever is true of the divine nature and whatever is true of the human nature gets ascribed to the one person. So the one divine Son is all knowing. He's omniscient because he has the divine nature. But he's also ignorant or lacks knowledge because he has a human nature. He's both all powerful because he has a divine nature. And he's also weak because he has a human nature.
Right.
That's the orthodox position. So when you say that the human nature died, that gets ascribed to the one person because there's only one person, and that one person is a divine person. He's not a human person. And that's why the church fathers said that God died.
All right. Cool. Yeah. I need to get into this more, and maybe we can have discussion later on. I'm not that. I have not that much knowledge now at this moment, so I can't like really argue about this topic, and I don't want to say anything that's not correct.
Yeah, I'm
So
not I'm not trying to force you or anything. I just only reason I asked you the question, and this is not even my room, but the title of the room is Christians Don't Be Ashamed and Say It, God Died. So you said you were Christian, and that's why I asked if you would say that, if you think it's correct. And you initially said no, but now I think you see what I'm explaining from what the church fathers say and what the theology is supposed to be. But of course, if you want to do more research and come back and talk about it another time, we certainly can. I'm not forcing you into any conversation.
cool,
Yeah,
cool.
but
That'll
I
be
believe a conversation that you can have, right, Cap?
I'm here. So I'm a bit confused because on the one hand, I thought you were saying that we shouldn't really use our reasoning to try to understand God or speak about God in this way. But then you're asking a question, so you're basically asking me to do that. You see the
brother. Christian doctrines are based on things we witnessed, right? From Jesus. That's what the Christian doctrines are based on. It's not like we are describe or defining God in His essence. Do you understand what I'm saying?
yeah, but
But that
you are
is just
claiming
so.
you are claiming things positively about God. You're saying that there's one God that exists in three persons and they're co-equal and co-eternal. So you are making statements about God, clearly.
Because that's what Jesus told us, right? So if you go and you read the Bible,
I know
Jesus
that's
made.
what you claim, but you didn't ask me about the Bible, though. You asked from a rational point of view, right?
Okay, rational. I don't think you can define God rationally, So if you
Well,
can do it,
I
please.
don't. If if the Trinity results in there being three gods, would that be irrational? Is it irrational to believe in three gods?
Irrational, yes, it would.
Okay,
We
so
don't believe in gods.
I know you say you don't believe in three gods. I understand that, but you say that the Father is God. You say that the Son is God, and you say that the Holy Spirit is God, and they're not each other. And the way that we typically would count is that they would be three gods because they're each God and they're not each other. So they're three gods. So can you explain how that doesn't equal three gods?
How we say that God is one in His essence, but three in persons. So, like,
Okay,
how?
so what makes them the same God? Because they all have the same essence?
Yes, the same essence, right? The same divine essence.
Okay, so
What
there's
what
one
that
God.
in nature,
What's that?
what that means, I can't tell you. That's a mystery. That's something that transcends
It's a
everything.
trump card.
Nobody can
Yeah,
ever.
yeah, go
Yeah,
ahead.
yeah.
Nobody can
Nobody
what?
can explain that logically. It's
Well,
impossible.
you just said nobody can explain it logically. I'm showing I'm showing how it's not logical because it results in polytheism. It results in three gods. Now, let me explain why. You're saying they're one God because they have one essence. Well, I can also show you that your same church fathers use this example and they compared it to three human beings. And they said, you have Peter, James, and John. Peter, James, and John share the same human nature. There's one universal human nature which is shared amongst Peter, James, and John. But what are Peter, James, and John? Are they three men or are they only one man?
They're three men.
46.
Okay, they're three men. So just because they have the same human essence doesn't mean that they're only one human. They're still three humans. So just because the Father, Son, and Holy Spirit share the same divine essence doesn't mean that they would be only one God. In the same way we count human beings, we would say there are three gods.
Yeah, I don't see how you can make such a claim.
It's the church father.
Why?
It was the church father.
Why can't I make such a claim? Yeah, okay, let me give you an
You said
example.
that this was a writing of a church father. Can you tell me
No, I'm
what?
saying that the church fathers use this analogy. They say, in the same way that we can say that there's one human nature amongst Peter, James, and John, right? They go to the absurdity. Instead of saying there's actually three men, they say there's only one man. Why?
Well, there is
Because
one. Well, actually, it's correct, right? Because there is one human nature in that
okay,
sense.
but is there one man?
There are three persons, but there's one human nature,
Is
right?
there one man? Is there one human being?
My friend, there's three persons, but
Okay,
there is one.
let's do an
Oh my
exercise.
goodness.
Let's do an
One is
exercise.
a man.
Kyrie,
Yeah.
it's me and I'm Jake, Muslim. Okay, you can call me Jake. It's Jake, Kyrie, and let's say HK. Okay, are we
Yeah.
one man or three men?
Yeah, we're three men,
We're
right?
three men. Why are we counted as three men instead of one man?
Because because we're three men.
Because we're three men. Do we all have
Right.
the same human essence, human nature?
Yeah, we do. We have the same human nature.
Okay, we have the same human nature. So the point is, just because we share the same nature doesn't follow from that we are the same man. So we still count as three men. Why? Because we are three individuals that, although we have the same human nature, it is particularized in each individual. So, in the same way that we count one, two, three men, Jake, Kyrie, and HK, if we have three persons, three divine persons, and each one of them fully possesses the divine nature, we would count that they are three gods because they're not the same. There's
No, I don't agree.
differences between the Father and the Son and the Holy Spirit
I
in
don't.
the same
I
way
don't.
that there's differences between me, you, and HK.
No,
This is like
I don't
Patrick
agree.
Starfish or something. Like that one episode.
What, Kyrie? You don't what?
I don't agree with that.
Which part
Because
don't you agree with?
we have the same nature, so in essence, we are the same. We're just three different persons, so it's the same thing.
It
Um,
exactly. It's the same thing. So, in the same way that we count three men, why wouldn't we count them as three gods?
but
I want to know what is the nature of God for Kyrie. What's the nature of God
No,
for
just I
Kyrie?
No,
want him to
don't do
answer this
that. Don't do
question,
that.
son.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just want him to answer this question because this is the main point here. You're saying it is the same thing. I'm granting you for the sake of argument. Okay, it's the same thing. So in the same way I count three men, why wouldn't I count three gods?
because there's something that connects us, like the human nature that connects us all. Is this, maybe you can see it the same way as that with God. That His essence connects the three persons of the Trinity.
Yes, I agree
So
with
then
you.
there's three gods.
The divine essence connects the persons. The human essence connects us. So you only to be consistent, you have two options.
But
Either you say, just let me give you the two options. Either you say because they have the same divine essence, there's one God. Then you would likewise have to say because we have the same human essence, there's one human. Or you say, no, just because we have the same human essence doesn't mean we're counted as one man. We're still counted as three men. Then you would have to say there are three gods. So there's either one God and one man, or three men and three gods. You can't say that because the divine shares the same essence, there's one God, but then when it comes to human beings, oh, they share the same human essence, but there's still three humans.
Well,
That's
that's the problem.
contradictory.
You're trying to logically explain this, but you can't. Even what you try, it doesn't matter how you try to explain it, you can't. You know.
Didn't you ask me, Kyrie? You asked me in the beginning, you said to me, please explain to me why, logically speaking, you cannot believe in the Trinity or that God is triune. Now I'm explaining to you from a rational, logical point of view why we can't. Because you claim that it's only one God, and we're telling you that if each one of them is God and they're not the same person, it's going to be three gods. That's the natural way we count, unless you have a mysterious way of counting.
Yeah, my answer would be God transcends nature, so it wouldn't matter what you say. It's just.
But that's why I asked you in the beginning, Kyrie. You told me, why would you ask me to explain something logically? Then when I give you the reason of logically why I can't accept it, then you tell me, well, forget about logic when it comes to God, basically. You see the problem. Why did you even have
Maybe
me,
something on the same.
why did you have me
Maybe
go through this
something on the same logical
exercise?
point, Jake. I think I'm gonna at the same point. I'm gonna ask Jake something on the same logical point. Didn't Church Father also after they have those counts where they had a logical discourse before they came to the
Sorry,
conclusion?
I don't hear you that well. Your mic is kind of.
No, I'm asking Jake, but I think it would be beneficial for you also this question. Didn't the Church Father, my brother Jake, also have a logical discourse in those council before they came to the conclusion of a triune God?
Yeah, of course it did. Of course it did. And here's the thing. When I gave you the two options, for example, you either going to have to be consistent. You have to either say there's three gods and there's three humans, or there's one God and there's one human. Do you know what the church fathers did? Well, Gregory of Nyssa, in his work on Not Three Gods, he uses this example about Peter, James, and John. Instead of saying that because there's one, because there are three, we count them as three men, we should count them as three God. He does the reverse and says because we count them as one God, we should count Peter, James, and John as only one man, which results in the absurdity that on the stage right now, there's only one man here. Now, does anyone believe that? Do you believe that, Kyrie?
Yeah, I do.
So you believe that right now there is only one man on the stage?
I believe we're all connected. We're connected.
Kyle is the only man here.
Listen, bro. If
Okay.
you look at, do
Yeah,
you know?
go
Have
ahead.
you heard of original sin?
Sorry, do I know about original sin?
Yeah.
Yeah,
You
I
ever
do,
heard?
but we don't believe in it.
Yeah, right.
Yeah,
So
yeah. Before you go into there, right? I wanted to take you through a scenario, Kyrie, actually.